randomly unless both teams can agree on one beforehand. And so like you were like talking to us at first, and like I introduced myself and I said like, hey, like one of the maps that I don't want to be on, or like some of the maps that I don't want to be on, or like Abyss, like the new maps, etc., etc. Um, and
So you said
yeah,
some of the maps you
yeah,
don't want to be on were, and then you cut out.
we're oh okay, yeah, like the newer map, like Abyss, Lotus, I think I mentioned. Um, and so when it was time to to discuss the maps once we faced each other, um, it was basically like we said our first pick, and then what we were expecting was a kind of a negotiation to like go back and forth and like come to like a mutual agreement, and then if we couldn't do that, then roll. And so it felt like that step was skipped, and it was just like we said our maps, and then you went to deliberate with your team, and then when it came back to us, it was like, all right, the map is Abyss, and we were all kind of like confused, like taken off guard as to how that happened. And
Good luck with your match, Haven. Should we do Haven? Do you want to do Haven? Hey Siri, pick a number 1 through 11.
God damn it.
Hey Siri, pick a number 1 through 11.
Abyss.
A random number between 1 and 11 is 1.
Even should break that fucking ship, please.
then I wasn't really watching your stream as much at this time because we were at in the middle of the rolling process and all that. But it was like someone on your team like wanted to play Abyss because of my introduction. That's what I was garnering from it. Which was it felt malicious because we are like people who are new to the community. Like we don't really know y'all.
A random number between 1 and 11 is 1.
Even should break that fucking ship, please.
And stuff. And so like in a tournament like this where there's supposed to be like good sportsmanship, I would think like the other team would be like, okay, like they don't want to play this map, okay, cool, like let's respect that, instead of kind of hitting below the belt and saying, okay, we know they don't want to play this map, so let's do it. So that rubbed us the wrong way, and then I think someone on your team like left randomly and didn't want to come back unless we played Abyss, and so that honestly was rude to you. So that really took me off guard as well, and the team. So I guess like what I'm trying to say here for this first point is that in future tournaments, if there was more clarity on how that worked out.
Maps. I do want to touch on maps. Normally what I do is I did post all of the maps that we're not just going to do the ranked maps, we're going to do all the maps. If anybody has normally what happens is I come in, I ask the teams to kind of be ready with the map that they want to play in mind, because if they both agree on a map, I'm completely fine with playing with it, you know? But if nobody can come to a conclusion, we're just going to randomize it at any point. So that's the maps. So keep in mind, take a look at it, see what maps you want. I think next tournament we'll probably do a, like Siege does, where you ban maps, but in the matter of time, I'm not going to do that this tournament.
Or just like skipping that first part with the coming to an agreement part, and then going straight to randomizing it, because I think that's just fair for everyone. Because even during the duration of the tournament, I noticed, maybe I'm wrong with this, but I'm pretty positive that the teams that played did not go on Abyss like at all. Except when it was time for us to play it, and I noticed that Ascent and Haven were being played, but not the map that like we wanted to be on when it was our turn. And so it kind of felt like targeted.
So from like the other point of view kind of thing where
Yeah.
he said, so one person did leave, and he left because he wanted Abyss, and it wasn't malicious towards you. There's just been this like this meme pre-existing because I hate Abyss. I fucking hate this shit. And it's kind of
Mhm.
like that was more of a jab towards me, and then also so and he really like doubled down on that because it was the same situation. So both teams couldn't decide, so we rolled for it, right? I went straight to the thing. And unfortunately, the roll came back a 1, so it came back as Abyss. And so
Okay. So yeah, so that's a thing that we didn't understand because
well, I mentioned it
no, yeah,
when
I know you mentioned like the rule, but like when the role actually happened,
no, I
I don't
mentioned the
think
roll. Like I mentioned I was like this was the rolled map. Okay. Well, I
because the whole like
so I mean like two teams couldn't, you know. Oh, I'm sorry, you cut
yeah,
out.
we could like we released our right that our maps which were sent in Haven, we never
Wait.
got maps back.
You're cutting out really bad again.
Oh, okay.
So
Is it
Haven
better now? Yeah,
uh
so we said for our maps it was Ascent and Haven in the beginning. Um, and when you came back, this is what I remember. If I'm wrong, and I'll take this back. I'll rescind it. But I don't remember there being any maps offered to us to agree on.
well they wanted Abyss. That was the thing. So they wanted Abyss. Like and this was like just one of the unfortunate events where the role came back as the map that they wanted. And it's super
Okay.
sketchy. And it's super sketchy, but I put it on Siri and Siri
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we
they
did.
spoke it.
Yes.
And I
You're
tried to put
right.
it into the
Yes.
mic, so I'm not sure if you can go back and like if you can listen
Okay.
to the result, but
No, that's correct. You're totally right. And like that is true. Like it was definitely a biz, and so we honored that. Like that's okay. But I know for a fact, and like I feel that my team feels the same way. For the second match, that did not happen. It was just like, hey, here are the maps that we offered once again. It was not, no one picked the maps that we chose, and instead it was like, roll for Breeze. Okay, we're playing Breeze. Instead of, okay, we want to offer these maps to you. And it didn't feel like a two-way conversation. Like we weren't included in the loop. That's kind of what I'm going for
well, I
here.
came back to y'all with the same because that was the only map that they wanted was Abyss. So,
But like,
I mean,
I guess that's a problem. Like, why did they want Abyss so badly? Also, when it's just like in other matches, from what I've seen at least, it wasn't Abyss on the table.
no, like any match that we played in, it was always Abyss. That was the only thing that they offered.
That was okay. All right. I guess I missed that part. But I just think to prevent this in future future tournaments, that it should either be randomized or like
It
there should
was
be
randomized.
like the how do I phrase this? Just like uh bad community vibes is probably the best way I could put it. Like,
Well, now,
um,
hold on.
oh, did something happen?
No, I mean, I think that's just like, what do you mean bad community vibes?
Like, so, uh, someone dropped like a picture in our VC about like Abyss, and I like again we don't know you guys that well, and so we were kind of like, this is kind of weird, like what's going on. Like it felt like mocking, and maybe it wasn't, and maybe it's just them saying like, hey, we just really want Abyss, which okay, maybe that's their way of joking, I don't know.
What kind of
um
picture was it? Was it like, was it?
no, it was just like the map, and they were like Abyss, and we were just like, okay. um and so we just went back in the VOD to like, see what's good, and like kind of figure out like what was going on at that time to maybe pin whatever happened. And then we s- I th- I don't know who said it, but when we were talking about the maps again, there was someone who was like, "This is why I didn't want to be in this stupid tournament," and I heard that clearly, and it
Okay.
wasn't towards us.
First,
I think it was more towards you, and I was just like, okay.
no. Yeah, that's cheap.
Um, yeah, no, it was just like that, and then also the fact that like towards the end when we said like that, like we were done, it was like it wasn't a tantrum. It was just like we did not feel respected and like we did not feel that the rules were adhered to, which maybe is something that we could have communicated better at the time. But I think just like
Well, I
the
think if
over
anything, like y'all's team was the only one that didn't respect the random, like Evenson left because I didn't want to I didn't want to uphold my own rules, and then your teammate she left because she didn't want to follow the rule.
she
So
her issue was also what I mentioned earlier about the whole like map rule not being like followed to the T, I guess is it? But we've already established that having someone come to the VC like a tournament or sorry a team representative would help that. Um, and I think that was just a miscommunication, and I'll talk to her about it. Um, but
I mean, we
I
also had like 2 prior games before our match, so like you could have gotten the vibe of like how the map pooling was working, and then I did touch base on it beforehand
yeah I
because I
so
like
I
know there's going to be confusion and everything, but like it wasn't like I was wishy-washy and like changed it every game. Like no, it was the same throughout.
Well, because the thing is also like like going in as strangers, we were like, this is kind of like a weird balance of tone, like we don't understand what's going on here. And then just like at the end when, there was more of that kind of commotion because of the whole us trying to forfeit thing, like, you know,
No.
someone
Yeah.
I don't remember who on the top of my head was like, oh yeah, like wah wah, go home, like crying babies or something. And it was just like, bro, we weren't throwing a tantrum. We were just forfeiting because of XYZ. Like that's
I
it.
think they were and I think that was in regards to Pixel. Um
Okay.
like I'm not going to join back unless I get the map that I want type of beat. I think that's what they were considering like a tantrum, not y'all like
Yeah.
forfeiting.
Okay. I to just clarify, like it wasn't even the fact that it was not the map that she wanted. Cause
Fucking Wimby.
I opened the window, I had to turn the fan.
Alrighty, so we randomed, we rolled, we got 4.
I'm not down for that.
Alright.
We agreed to a Center Haven.
Yeah, so both teams kind of couldn't come to. I offered a Center Heaven, and both teams couldn't come to the. They want Abyss. I don't want Abyss. So we just left it up to the roll. The random. Are we missing somebody?
Yeah, I'm not on it because I don't agree.
Okay, gotcha.
I think we would have played Breeze if we again went through those steps. Like, okay, we know because we didn't know at the time that you guys wanted Abyss. We just thought that it was like roll again. So that's why she was like, wait, what? We're getting Breeze now? How did that happen? Fast. So that's why she was just like, okay, I'm good, I'm done.